Hey everybody, welcome to another tutorial from Guys Playing Games on the Star Wars X-Wing Miniatures game. Today I have another great excuse to talk about the Gazanti class cruiser, because we're talking about docking and undocking and how all that stuff works. And this is kind of the highlight for the Gazanti class cruiser, its ability to carry in 4 ships along into the battlefield with it. Now, this is done using the upgrade card docking clamps, which is free, 0 squad points. And the real caveat to this whole thing is that the ships all need to be the same type. So you could use all TIE fighters, TIE bombers, TIE advanced, TIE interceptors. They all just have to be the same type of ship. Now, when you're flying them into the battlefield and you're ready to start undocking, this is done after you make your movement with the Gazanti class cruiser. So I'd throw up my dial, make my movement, and then as my action, I can undock up to 2 of the 4 ships at a time. So what you would do is you would actually take the movement dial of the ship that you're undocking and choose a maneuver that it can do. And then you would reveal that maneuver, place the template in front of the Gazanti class cruiser like so, if I'm doing a straightforward 2, and then you would pull one of these guys off, and I'm not going to do that because it's a pain, but you would pull one of these guys off and place it right in front, just like this, almost as if you were just doing a normal movement with a small ship, and this is the starting position and ending position. Then you remove the movement template, and you're good to go. Maybe correct for nudges like I do. And again, you can do this up to 2. Now, there's a couple things that you have to pay attention to. This is not similar to moves like boosting or barrel rolling, where you can't undock into an obstacle. You absolutely can. It's just important that to keep into account, you're going to suffer the consequences of doing that. If you were to undock off the board in any way, the ship is immediately destroyed. So you need to pay attention to where the ship is going to end up at the end of that undocking procedure. Now, it's also important to pay attention to what happens to the cruiser. I may have gotten 1 or 2 or maybe 3 of my ships off and undocked, but if there are any ships left on the Gazanti class cruiser when it's destroyed, that ship is going to have to immediately undock following this normal procedure and then suffers 1 damage. If the Gazanti class cruiser were to offboard, any ships that are still docked and attached also are destroyed at the same time. So there's some risk involved with using it, and you just got to pay attention to what you're doing. I think that's pretty much everything with docking, and hopefully this clarifies it. It's a cool new thing to use. Obviously, the Gazanti class cruiser isn't the only ship that has this docking ability, but it's certainly the first and the biggest, and it's just so cool being able to carry that many ships into the field with.
So something that I should clarify, just because I don't think that I did a very good job originally in the first recording, is explaining that when ships are docked to another ship, so in this case I'm using the Gazanti, but really any case where there's docking, the ship is coming into the game docked. It's all done pre-game, and that docking stuff isn't redone later on in the game. You can't redock a TIE fighter to the cruiser in the middle of the game, as the rules specify right now. Now, I'm willing to bet that there's probably going to be some changes that will allow you to redock the ship. I think with, at least in terms of the Ghost, it makes sense to be able to redock the Phantom back to it. So we'll see if that rule gets more clarification and expounded a little bit. But at this point, none of the rules explicitly say, you can redock a ship after it's been undocked. Now, the other thing that I should clarify is, in my example, I undocked a ship off the front of the Gazanti class cruiser, and you can, in fact, do it in a couple of different ways. You can do it off the front or the back using either of the template studs when you're launching that ship. So that should hopefully clarify that a little bit better.
So I hope you enjoy and tune into our other videos, and please subscribe. It really helps us a lot. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.